All right, so the Biden State of the Union happened last night, and I was just looking at different commentary and just different things, and some interesting things are trending. So I'm going to address those, especially as it is mentioned in this title. But some of the things that I want to talk about with regards to how it's awakening people, right? So I've talked about that we are in a big, great awakening operation. We are in a psyops war, and this whole theatrical thing that's happening right now, where people are saying you're watching a movie, you're watching a show, and it's intentional how there are certain actors in play, and some of them may have, Hollywood style masks, and you have body doubles and doppelgangers and all this stuff, right? Everything that you're seeing, not everything, but a lot of things that you're seeing is planned. And I don't know where all the real people are. I don't know what has happened to them. People speculate about Guantanamo Bay. People speculate that they're in witness protection and they're just being escorted, by different groups and all of that. And people with regards to, the shadow government, whether you believe it in the good side or the bad side, that people are whispering, Obama's in the basement, and all of this stuff that's happening, right? So more and more people are open to the idea that this person, Biden, especially as you see him from an objective point of view, whether you are awakened or not, you're looking at this person and saying, man, the way he coughs, the way he was doing all of his dementia-like qualities throughout the speech, all of that is suspect in the sense of, is he really quote unquote capable for the job? And so other people will say that are more awake that no, this is all a show to make people, to exaggerate something so that people would intentionally see how bad it is. And then you juxtapose that against Trump and you now have this, oh my goodness, it's so obvious to me. Now, that aside, even if you look beyond it and say, hey, well, if he is really Joe Biden and he's, you just got to forgive him and give him some grace for the way he talks because, when you get old, this happens and blah, 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 right? So I'm not going to pick at elementary level stuff. Other people that are in audience one or people that are not as awakened, they can use those tactics and nitpick at stuff, right? Make fun of him for the way he talks and he slurs and all that. So I'm not going to do that, right? That's a low blow type thing. But in some sense, it's needed for the immature people to wake up to realize, okay, there's clearly some kind of incompetency issue. And so people are using that to wake people up. So I'm not going to talk about all those things, nor am I going to talk too much about even the policies that he's said, right? So if you are awake or if you saw the whole speech, and I saw the whole thing, he talked about a lot of things, and I'll note a couple things that are interesting. And now a lot of the people that are pundits of the world, Republican, MAGA, or conservative, they will touch on the issues themselves. I'm going to touch on what I mentioned in this title as well as some other things. And quickly, I'll just say things like this, right? So he talked about Roe versus Wade and how that was not good. We have to reverse it and all this stuff. So if you are a believer, you're a Christian, you already know and you have a stance on whether you are pro-choice, pro-life, however you want to label it, whatever that is, you know what's biblical, what's true, what is of God and not. And so clearly he's projecting the one that is not of God. And the other stuff that he mentioned very quickly was in the beginning, he opened up with equating basically Republicans of modern day to being like Hitler because he talked about an existential crisis that has happened. And as FDR was addressing the nation like in 1941, similarly with what's happening now, he is juxtaposing that and comparing that to modern day Republicans and predecessors of Trump and all these things. So he's made that inference. He's also talked about Ukraine first, basically. He's talking about why money should be sent to help them and we have to fund their weapons and all that stuff, right? And so if you know, and you obviously see what's happening on our borders, he's more concerned with borders in Ukraine and with Russia than with our own borders, right? So he briefly talked about some of these things with respect to the US borders, but not to the degree that he was standing hard for Ukraine. So all these points you can talk about. He talked about the economy. He talked about fake numbers like $1 trillion in deficit, and then with pharma, another $3 trillion that he's going to cut and all this stuff, right? And he also talked about how he is against big pharma, but yet he funded and helped them get all these COVID, stuff. And we all know that. But basically, all of the points that you can nitpick from the perspective of audience two, you will see the juxtaposition, the dichotomy against each other, and you can argue for that, and that will help more people wake up. The other thing that a lot of people are talking about on Twitter and Rumble and all these places, that Derek Johnsons of the world, is the idea that, again, this man, again, you have to look at the clues. You have to look at what's actually happening and the little symbols and signals that he's being guarded and escorted by the US Marshals. And so this emblem, and you can see it throughout this thing, there's like 3 or 4 times that this has happened. But basically, this person is being escorted out, and he's very close, right? He's very close, and many others, with an emblem of the US Marshal pin. So this is the US Marshal pin, and you can do your research, right? Don't just look at something. This is the Secret Service uniform and the pin. And you can see that whenever the Secret Service wears certain things, it's like a star or like one of these badges. And it's very clear if you zoom in, and you can do all the analysis yourself. I'm just giving you the summary, but it's very clear that he's being escorted by US Marshals. And so these types of things is not something that you should sort of look over, right? The US Marshal primarily handles fugitive arrests, federal prisoner transportation, and the witness protection program. And there's some other things, right? But it is not the job of them to guard and to escort the real president, quote unquote, the quote unquote, the president, if there was something else going on. And so this is what a lot of us, including the awakened people, the enlightened people, and all of this Q and conspiracy stuff people are saying with regards to how this is a massive, massive operation, a military occupation that's happened since the steal of the 2020 election, and how it's being done on purpose to wake you up, to shock you awake, and to make certain things obvious for with the clues to those that are seeking it and are seeing it from that perspective. And to others, there's another layer, right? So I've talked about audience 1, audience 2, audience 3, the target audiences, and how this whole speech, if you see it from, and other people are talking about the neck here and just, having a mask on and all that stuff. But what's clear is with regards to the emblem, with regards to certain clues, and other people break down other things. You can go check this out yourself. But this stuff is something that is very suspect, right? It again bolsters the idea of something else is going on and some kind of continuity of government is happening. Remember, Trump has declared that this election has been stolen and that he has done certain things. If you read executive orders, if you study the depths of stuff, and we don't know what the peds have said, but something else is going on, and he's talking like we live in some kind of a facade of, yeah, Biden's president and something else is going on, but the reality is that something else is happening behind the scenes, and it's being controlled, and that this operation, whatever it is, to catch the people, to get the globalists, whatever it is, it's happening for a reason. So it's a two-pronged approach to wake you up, to get you to seek the truth yourself, because things are so strange, so exaggerated that you have no choice but to say, man, something is wrong with this whole Democratic, whatever liberal Biden president thing. And then others, right, are seeing it from the perspective of we have to catch all of these guys, the ones that are deep state, Illuminati, whatever it is that you want to put in there. But it's happening for a reason. And to those that are awake and enlightened, you can be encouraged by some of the clues that are being shown. So this is what's being discussed. I just wanted to give you guys this quick update. Be encouraged, because a lot is happening, and it's going to bolster and it's going to awaken and embolden many more people to step up to say, man, something is wrong. I've been led astray like a sheep, and now you're realizing what's happening because it's unfolding in front of you, and it's impacting your life, whether economically, whether politically, or whether with the borders, crimes, whatever it is. It's happening for a reason. So be encouraged, guys. More is coming. If you want to support me, guys, I really need your help. ChrisYunStore.com. I launched a bunch of new things. It's also tagged in the YouTube video itself underneath, so you can purchase there. And also, if you want to continue to give, go GoFundMe, Give, Send, Go. I really need the support, guys, because we need to get stuff off the ground and to pursue forward, because I'm trying to do many things as the page turns for the economy, for many things, as Trump and all of the stuff that's being vindicated comes back. So love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.